Alright, so in this video we're gonna start from where we left off, and that was question number 6. So we're gonna start from question number 7. So this says a field is in the shape of quadrilateral PQRS. A path crosses the field from P to R, and PQ equals to 280. RS is 146 and PR is 325. S is on a bearing of 42 degrees from P. PSR is 108 and RPQ is 38. Alright, calculate the bearing of R from P. So we're going to make a north at P. We don't have to do that since that's already done. So the bearing of R from P is going to start from the north. It's going to go in a clockwise direction, and we're going to take it, we're going to keep on going till we reach the line PR. So we know that part of the angle is already given to us, and that's 42. The rest we have to figure out, and that is this angle. I'm just going to call this theta. Okay, now let's look at the situation, see what do we have and what do we need to do in order to work out the missing angle. So we have two sides and we have a non-included angle. So that means the formula that I'm going to use is sine rule. Basically, the method that I'm going to use is sine rule. So this is how we're going to start. We're going to start off with sine theta divided by 146 is equals to sine 108 divided by 325. So I'm going to cross multiply here to figure out the value of theta, and bear in mind that's not going to be my final answer. So sine 108 bracket close divide by 325 into 146 sine inverse of the answer. So the answer to this is 25 point, whoops, sorry, it's not the final answer, yeah. So the answer to this is 25.29, so 25.29777. But we need to add 42 degrees to this, so I'm just going to add 42 to my answer. So that gives me 67.2, but I'm going to write this as 067 it's 29, so I'm going to write this as 067.3 degrees as my final answer. Okay, now let's look at the next question. It says show that QR equals to 202 correct to the nearest meter. And then it says show that QR equals to 202 meter correct to the nearest meter. So QR is this length, and we can see that we have two sides and an included angle. So we're going to apply cosine rule here. So we're going to say that QR square is equal to 325 plus 280 square. 325 squared plus 280 square minus 2 into 325 into 280 cos of the angle that's between the two sides, and that is 38. Okay, so I'm just going to punch this in my calculator, and towards the end don't forget to take the square root of it. So 325 squared plus 280 squared minus 2 into 325 into 280 multiplied by cos 38 square root answer. So that is 201.5, but if we round this off correct to the nearest meter, that's going to be 202 meters. So that is shown as we were supposed to. Then part 3 says Mia walks at a constant speed of 5.5 kilometers per hour. Calculate the time it takes her to walk from Q to R. Okay, so time, as we know, is equal to distance upon speed. Okay, now we have the speed, which is 5.5, but if we want the distance is 202, but 201.5 actually, but bear in mind that this is in meters. So if I want to convert this into kilometers, so that means I will have to divide it by 1000. So I'm going to do this in my calculator. 201.5 divided by 1000. So now I have the distance in meters, and then I'm going to divide that by the speed to get the time. I have the time in my calculator, and this is going to be in hours, but since I have to convert it into minutes and seconds, so I'm going to multiply it by 60. So now this is equal to 2.198. Now if I want to convert this into minutes and seconds, so I can see that this is going to be 2 minutes and some seconds. So 2, and if I want to figure out the number of seconds, I'm going to do 0.198 times 60 in order to get the answer in seconds. So that is equal to, let's find out. So that's equal to 11.53. So that's equal to 11.53. Okay, so and 11.53 will be equal to approximately 12 seconds. And since the question is also asking us to give the answer correct to the nearest. Alright, so now we're going to solve question number 8. So question number 8 says we're given the formulas. Okay, there are a couple of formulas that are going to be given to you. Volume of cone and curved surface area of cone is one of them. So here we have a diagram which shows a bowl with circular base. The large surface of the bowl is formed by removing a cone with radius 12 and height 45 centimeters from a larger cone as shown in the diagram. The radius of the top of the bowl is 16 centimeter and its height is 15 centimeter. Okay, so the bowl here is just this part. I'll highlight it for you. This region that I'm highlighting is the bowl. Everything else has been removed, right? Excuse my untidiness, please. Okay, so if you have to calculate the volume, well, it's not as simple as you might think. So first we'll have to calculate the volume. This is not a shape of which we know the formula. So we'll first have to calculate the volume of the larger cone. And when we're calculating the volume of the larger cone, that means we're going to have to use the radius of the larger cone, and that is 16. So pi r square, and height of the larger cone, which is going to be 45 plus 15, and that is going to be 60. Okay, and from it, we will have to subtract the volume of the smaller cone, which has radius 12 and height 45, perpendicular height. All right, so I'm going to use my calculator to figure this out. Let's see, what is this equal to? So 1 upon 3, 16 squared multiplied by 60 minus 1 upon 3, 12 squared multiplied by 45. So multiply this value by pi, and we're going to have 9,299. So which I'll have to round this off, since this is a non-exact value. I'll have to round this off correct to 3 significant figures, and that will eventually become 9,300 centimeter cube. Okay, then it says the slant height of the cone that has been removed is c centimeters. Show that, so we already have the answer, c is equals to 46.6. okay, so this we will have to solve with the help of a triangle, so a 90-degree triangle. So this is going to be 45 squared. So basically here's what I've done. The radius is 12, the perpendicular height is 45, and the slant height is c. So 45 square plus 12 square equals to c square. Let's solve this. C is going to be equal to square root of 45 squared plus 12 square, which is going to be 46.5 something, but correct to 3 significant figures, it's going to be 46.6 centimeter, and that is shown. Okay, then it says the bowl is completely filled with water. Calculate the total surface area of the bowl that is in contact with the water. Okay, so when I fill this with water, let's see the surfaces that the water is going to touch. The water is going to touch the base. Okay, so let's calculate the area of the base. So the base is a circle with radius 12, so the area is going to be pi 12 squared. Okay, and then we will have the curved surface area. Now again, this curved surface area is it's not a shape of which we know the formula, so that means we'll have to break it down. So we'll first have to calculate the curved surface area of the larger cone, and then we'll have to calculate the curved surface area of the smaller cone. But before I do that, before I calculate the curved surface area of the larger cone, I will have to figure out the slant height of the larger cone. I know that the perpendicular height is 60, but I will have to figure out the slant height. So the radius is 16, here's 90 degree, the perpendicular height is 60. So I'm going to use this to figure out the slant height. 16 square plus 60 square, square root of the answer, so that is equal to 62.1. So let's calculate the curved surface area of the larger cone with radius 16 and slant height 62.1. From it I will have to subtract the curved surface area of the smaller cone, and the smaller cone has radius 12 and perpendicular height, we just calculated that, 46 point, let me just double check, 46.6, yeah, 46.6. Okay, so I'm going to work this out in my calculator and see what the answer is. So I should make a bracket here. So shift pi into 12 square is equal to, actually let's just keep the answer in terms of pi, and then we're going to calculate it towards the end. So then we have 16 into 62.1 minus 12 into 46.6 and multiply that by pi, so that gives me 434.4 pi. Okay, so let's sum this up. Plus 144 multiplied by pi, so the answer turns out to be 1817. And again, since this also is a non-exact value, I'll have to round this off correct to 3 significant figures, so 1817.09, so on and so forth. So this will become 1820 centimeters square, correct to 3 significant figures. And remember to always give your answers correct to 3 significant figures. Okay, now let's do question number 9. Here we have a rectangle ABCD with AB 10 and AD 12. Okay, so AB is 10 and AD is 12. PQ is parallel to AB. PQ, where's PQ? Okay, PQ is parallel to AB, and RS is parallel to AD. Okay, that's great. Y is the point of intersection. BR equals to DP, which is equal to X. Alright, I should write that down. BR equals to DP, which is equal to X. Okay, that's great. Then it says a small rectangle and a square are shaded. Okay, so if this is a square, that means its dimensions are going to be x by x. Write down an expression in terms of x for AR. Okay, so to calculate AR, I can see that this entire length is 10 and part of it is x. So AR is going to be 10 minus x. That's pretty simple. AP. So if I want to work out AP, I can see that this entire length is 12. Part of it is x. So AP is going to be 12 minus x. 12 minus x. Okay, then the question says area of shaded rectangle ARYP over area of shaded rectangle ABCD is 3:4. Okay, so as far as ABCD is concerned, we can work out the area of ABCD by simply multiplying 12 and 10. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. 12 times 10 will give me the area of rectangle ABCD. As far as ARYP is concerned, ARYP is this rectangle, in case you're wondering. So the question has already made us calculate AR and the question has already made us calculate AP. So I'm going to multiply these two, 10 minus x into 12 minus x, and this, according to the question, is equals to 3/4. Okay, so let's solve this further and try and bring it equal to this. So 10 into 12 is going to be 120 minus 10x minus 12x plus x square upon 120 equals to 3/4. Okay, now whenever you have an equals to sign, remember you can only simplify across the equals to sign. So 4 1s are 4, 4 3s are 12, and 3 into 0 is 4 zeros are 0. So this is going to become 120 minus 22x plus x square equals to 90. So this is going to become x square minus 22x plus 30, since 120 minus 90 equals to 30. So now we have x square minus 12x plus 30 equals to 0. Okay, then it says solve the equation x square minus 22x plus 30 equals to 0. So for this I'll have to use the quadratic formula. A equals to 1, b equals to minus 22, and c equals to 30. So minus 22, I should write down the quadratic formula. It's minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac upon 2a. So minus 22 plus minus square root of minus 22 squared minus 4 into a into c upon 2 times 1. Okay, so I'm just going to punch this in my calculator as it is, and I'm just going to obtain the two values. So okay, minus 22 squared 30. Okay, so one value of x is 20.53, so the question is 20.54. Okay, and the other value is 1.46. So here are our two values correct to 2 decimal places. Okay, then the question says find the total unshaded area in rectangle ABCD. Okay, so what we have worked out are two values of x. Okay, so obviously x cannot be equal to 20.54, it can only be equal to 1.56. Since the entire length is 12 and 10, you can't have part of it greater than 12 or 10 for that matter. Okay, let's read the question again. It says find the total unshaded area in rectangle ABCD. Okay, so the unshaded area here will be 12 minus x times 10 minus x, and the unshaded area here will be x into x, which is x square. Okay, so let's work this out. 12 minus 1.46 multiplied by 10 minus 1.46, all right, plus 1.46 squared. So the first part will give us the area of A, B, R, Y, and 1.46 squared will give us the area of the square that we have. Okay, so I'm going to work this out and see what this turns out to be. 12 minus 1.46 multiplied by 10 minus 1.46. So that's that, plus 1.46 squared. 1.46 squared. So our answer turns out to be 90. So our answer turns out to be 92.1432, but this, remember, is the shaded area. Okay, so if you want to figure out the unshaded area, you can do that by subtracting it from 120. Actually, I just saw that it's the unshaded area. Otherwise I would have given this shaded area. I should have underlined unshaded, and that's a lesson for you guys also, to make sure that you underline the keywords. So 27.9 is going to be our answer, correct to 3 significant figures. Okay, then we move to question number 10, which seems like it's related to circle properties and perhaps similar and congruent triangles. Okay, so here we have question number 10, part A, which says AC and BD are diameters of the circle center O. Show that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle BAD. Okay, ABC is here and BAD is here. Okay, so the first things first is that these angles are going to be 90 degrees, and the reason for that is very simple, and that is that they are opposite the diameter, since one diameter is AC and the other diameter is BD. Okay, and these two angles are also going to be equal because of same segment, because of the same segment property. And we're going to have AC is going to be equal to BD, and the reason for that is that they're both diameters of the same circle. So obviously we're going to have to do this with a lot of reasoning. So we're going to start off with this, that angle BAD is equal to angle ABC, and that is equal to 90 degrees. And why is that? Because they're opposite the diameter. Okay, that's reason number one. And reason number two is going to be angle ADB is equal to angle ACB, and that is because of same segment. We don't know what the values are, so we're just going to write same segment. Okay, and then the third reason is that AC is equals to BD, and that is because they're both the diameters of the same circle. So we have two angles and one side. So angle side is the property due to which they are congruent. Okay, and then the question says two tangents TC, so I should underline T tangent TC and TD are drawn to the circle in part A. The diameter of the circle is 8 centimeter. Okay, that's definitely going to help us. ABD is 28 degrees, so let's mark that. ABD is 28 degrees and the diameter is 8 centimeter. Find COD. Okay, so COD is basically this entire angle. Let's see what we can do in order to figure out this angle. Okay, so we know that this is 4 and this is going to be 4 also. So we can work out, let's see what we can work out. Okay, so this angle which is at the center is going to be double of 28. That means this angle is going to be 56. So if that angle is 56, that means this angle will also be equal to 56 because of vertically opposite. And these angles are on a straight line, so that means COD can be calculated by subtracting 56 from 180, which I believe is 124 degrees. Yep, that's correct. Okay, then the question says calculate the area shown shaded in the diagram. Okay, so if I want to calculate the area, that means I will have to calculate the area of the circle first, and then from it subtract the area of the sector. Okay, so I'm gonna do it for just ODT. Okay, so I'm just gonna calculate the shaded area here, and then I can simply multiply it by 2 to figure out the total shaded area. Okay, so let's first try and calculate the area of the triangle. So since this entire angle is 124, part of it will be 62, and I also have the length here, which is 4. So that means I will definitely have to use Pythagoras theorem. So first let me draw this nicely. I apologize for the background noise. So here's 90, here's 4. This is 62 degrees. Yeah, that's correct. So that means I have to figure out the opposite length with the help of the adjacent length. So I can use tan. So tan 62 equals to opposite upon 4. So let's cross multiply. Tan 62 multiplied by answer multiplied by 4. So that's equal to 7.52. So the opposite length is equal to 7.52 centimeter. Okay, so how is this helpful? This is helpful because I can now calculate the area of the triangle, by taking the base as 4 and the height as 7.52. Okay, and once I have this, from it I'll have to subtract the area of the sector, and we have a sector which has an angle of 62 degrees. So 62 upon 360 multiplied by pi, and the radius is going to be 4. So I'm going to work this out in my calculator and see what the answer is. 0.5 times 4 times 7.52 minus 62 divided by 360. Actually, let me just put it in fraction form. 62 divided by 360 multiplied by pi 4 squared. Okay, so this gives me 6.38, but don't get carried away. This is not our final answer as yet because we have to double this value, and if I double this value, that's going to become, let me multiply it by 2, 12.76, which if I round off correct to 3 significant figures is going to be 12.8 centimeters square. And I believe that was the last question. Yep, that was the last question. So we're done with this paper. I hope everything's crystal clear. In case it's not, you guys are very welcome to let me know in the comment section. And I'll try and make more videos before the October-November exam. And again, wishing you guys all the best for your exam. Make all your teachers proud. Make me proud. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.